feels super good.
All right, we're on Disco Acid Cult TV. We never really talked about what we're going to talk about at all.
No, I mean, you said that you wanted to talk about, what was it? Somebody about fat shaming or something like that?
Yeah, I did title the episode "Fat People Are the Worst."
Yeah.
It's that San Francisco thing. You've probably heard of this.
No, what happened?
We'll get into it. San Francisco hired some lady. Proto Max is here. Manson getting down. Yeah, no one was. Last night was a pretty. I figured because it was New Year's Day, no one was around. Do you do shit for the holidays?
Um, no, not really. Like my family's so small, so and they all kind of like moved out of state over the years, so I really don't do anything. I mean, yeah, Christmas, we just kind of had like a lunch. And then New Year's, it's like, well, what's the point of going out now? Like nobody I know this year went out for New Year's. They were in bed by 9 o'clock.
I went to a little shindig. I got
Re-
drunk.
really? Like with
I just
friends, or what was the vibe?
Yeah, a friend of mine had a thing at his house. It was just like some of his girlfriend's coworkers and some of his friends. It was nothing.
Well, so I have a friend that has been throwing the same New Year's party at his house since we were 15. And so what happened was is he comes from like a very wealthy family, and then he got married recently, and then his mom basically gave him her house, and then she just moved into a different house. So he's like living in the same childhood house and he's never left. And he was like, yeah, I'm having my New Year's party this year, like come through. And I was like, I'm not going to go to that. Like, it's just a reminder of like who's still here. And it's the same group of guys that like haven't changed since high school. So I don't know who went, but he's been hosting that same party since we were in, ninth grade.
Dude, if that was my life, though, I would never change. If my family was just rich and they just gave me a house, I'd do the same shit every year, too, because I could afford to.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's just really depressing.
You're being like metaphorical, right?
Who?
Also, how many Protomax? Also, how many Four Locos did you drink? I can never even really nowadays. I always will bring a Four Loco, but I can never even really finish the whole thing. It's just seems like a lot of work. But yeah, no. If that was my family, or if that was my story, I'd do the same shit every year too, because I could afford to.
Yeah, no, he's like set. So yeah, he was just basically, we call it the free house. He got the free house. So
yeah,
good for him. I love that comment that you sent me the other day when I was telling you about that girl I worked with who was Rico Kasich's granddaughter. And what did you say? You're like, she's just like rubbing it in her whole shift or something like that.
Well, you said that she came to work after he died and they played the Cars the whole shift.
Yeah,
so I was saying your work was just rubbing it into her, like.
Well, I thought like she was rubbing it in. I thought you meant she's rubbing it into everybody else. So,
no, I thought they were rubbing it in for her.
No, I remember like she was okay. I think how did he die? Wasn't he sick?
Yeah, I think he just got old, just like heart attack or some shit.
Yeah, I think they kind of knew. But she was really cool. But she was quite young. Like I think when I was there, I was probably like 23 and she must have been like 18 or 19. And yeah, I mean, it was like wild because she came from like such a famous family, yet she was like, I'm gonna get a little job at Trader Joe's down the road. And she just was doing her thing and whatnot. And then she would talk to me about like her boyfriends. I think she's dating some like famous skateboarder now. I don't know what she's doing, but yeah, no, I do remember like when he died, like the whole staff was like, we're gonna play the Cars all day long, and they did. And I think she was fine. I don't remember.
Yeah, he was old. He was 75 when he died. He was old. The Cars got famous when they got big. He was like 34. He's like hope for the old guys that are in bands, like dudes in their 30s. But yeah, no, he had some surgery. He was recovering. His estranged wife found him dead. It just says hyperextensive heart, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, he was fucking 75. Yeah, he is like the hope for guys. If you're like 32 and you're in a band and girls won't fuck you because you're 32 and you're in a band, just remember that you got like 2 more years still because of Rick Ocasek.
Yeah. No, I remember once bumping into her and her family at the mall once in an H&M.
I like
And then, like, because her dad, Rick Ocasek's son, is also some famous musician. I don't know what band he was in, but like their family's tall as fuck. Like they're all like almost 7-footers. And I remember like bumping into them at the H&M, and my mom was like, "Who's that man? He's so attractive." And I was like, "That's Rick Ocasek's son." Like, what do you mean? She had no idea. But yeah, just Hollywood things.
Yeah. I'm trying to see exactly when. I don't know. I'm not gonna sit here and look at the Wikipedia stuff about, but I know he was like mid-30s when they finally took off.
Yeah.
But, other than that, yeah, no, I thought that's what it was. I thought, like, work was rubbing it in because, like, if I don't know, if my grandpa died and then my job was like, "Hey, we're gonna just, like, put up pictures of your grandpa shift," I'd be like, "Oh, that sucks." I also imagine if your family is like a, like, famous, like, rock stars, it's probably not for some reason, it's probably not as devastating when I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like
Yeah. How many kids did he have? Did he have a lot of kids? Because I kind of feel like I don't know for sure. I don't know how close she was with him. I feel like there was like a lot of family members going on. So,
I can't say anything about kids, but he's been married twice, so, I mean, you got, like, 2 wives worth of kids if you want.
yeah.
So I guess he
Yeah,
has
no,
other
that
siblings.
was that was pretty interesting working at the Trader Joe's with Olivia Ocasek. It was something else. Um, yeah, there were like a lot of celebrities that would come into that Trader Joe's that I worked at.
Okay, here we go.
Or,
Kasich had 6 sons,
yeah,
2 from each of his 3 marriages. So each
yeah,
of his wives got 2 kids.
yeah. No, that I kind of remember that, like her being like, I feel like she told me something about how like they weren't too close because there was a lot of family, but I don't know for sure. But I do remember seeing photos of them together. And then her grandmother is that famous model. I think her name's Paulina.
Yeah, he was
And he
married
would,
to a
yeah, Paulina.
yeah, supermodel Paulina Porizkova or whatever.
Yeah. I tried to work at Trader Joe's, and yes, they do that. So I applied one time, like when I was in high school, and they rejected me. They sent me like a handwritten letter. And then I reapplied in my early 20s and they accepted me. It's all about using like the right words with them. I said that like I was studying sustainability at school, and then they were like, "Oh, like we like all that grassroots stuff." So they hired me.
Grassroots.
Yeah, they love that kind of shit there. It's crazy.
Yeah, I
But
like those ass roots.
I sued them for racial discrimination.
Yeah, Proto-Mex is Mexican. Proto-Mexican.
Yeah, well, there were a lot of Mexicans that I worked with at Trader Joe's. But Trader Joe's, it's funny. Like I was actually talking to someone recently who worked at a different Trader Joe's. And I guess like from what I was told, this is kind of like the general consensus throughout all of them. So when I worked there, there was a lot of like just craziness going on, like a lot of people like having sex with one another, like at work or like in the parking lot, like managers having affairs from their marriage. And I guess that's kind of like the vibe within the Trader Joe's realm.
They're
I'm
just
not
all
into
fucking.
it. Yeah, yeah. No, there were a number of like managers that would like have affairs with the employees, and then they'd go home to their wives.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Like people would be like having sex in the freezer and refrigerator in the back.
Dude, I can't. That'd be kind of hard. Like, I know that the idea is that you're gonna warm up, but getting to the, it's like when you go outside and it's cold and someone's like, "Oh, why don't you move around?" It's like, okay, but that means I have to push through the cold first.
Yeah.
Sometimes I really just don't feel like it. Usually when I go for my run-in night in the wintertime, it's always cold, and I have to really force myself to. What I'll do is I'll walk really fast because I always start my run off with a walk. So I'll walk super fast just to get myself pretty much stranded out and about. So then it's like you might as well. Whereas if I am slow, I wouldn't even. I'd go back home.
What is this? Yeah, so I wondered that if like at all grocery store or yeah, like grocery store chains or anywhere involving customer service, if it's like that, if people are consistently just having sex with one another.
Protomax, you should have beat this dude up just because. Just because be like, yeah, here's an opportunity.
I think the craziest thing though was one time an employee was having an affair with a manager and she was married and she had like newborns and she just straight had an affair. And the husband found out and came in with a bat and
That's
was
good.
like, "You're fucking my wife." Anyways, from what I heard, is she did end up divorcing her husband and is now married to the Trader Joe's manager.
That's dude,
So,
going into the girls' work is prime. Okay, so it's not as cool as a bat, but it's funny because I'll say this and Protomax might pick up Calamity. Okay, when I say Calamity Jane, that makes it obvious. When I first started dating Calamity Jane, she had worked at Tilly's, right? And at the time, Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day was in some cheesy movie, and there's like a scene. I never saw the movie, but I saw the trailer. I can't remember what it's called, but there's a scene where he like gets in a fight with his girlfriend, and it happens like in her work, and I think he throws something. So I was all hyped up on. I was like, "Oh, that's fucking cool!" And so yeah, we got in a fight one time, and I went into her work, and I threw something. I like threw something and made some kind of mess, and then left. But going into work with the bat, that's crazy shit.
yeah.
But
No, I mean,
if you're trying to do some cool shit though, go into your girlfriend's work and cause a scene. That's the coolest thing you could do in life. If you're over 21, don't do it. That's
well,
the
I mean,
border. That's the rule.
these people were like in their 40s. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
there's just no hope.
There's just yeah, I mean, I didn't witness it, but when I got to work the next day, that's what I was told. But now she is married and she took her kids with him.
You got to
So
think if you have kids and you cheat, you have no right to talk any shit about Daisy Buchanan from The Great Gatsby. And even Daisy stayed with the father of her child. That is so if you continue cheating, like you're a worse person than Daisy Buchanan, and that should be taken seriously. Throwing down in the workplace. Dude, it literally all it was like like in kindergarten, you have those little clear plastic containers that you put the pencils in or something. It was like one of those, and it was full of, it was a fucking clothing store. So it was like the labels and shit. And she was working with it, and I just like fucking slapped it off of the table it was sitting on, and it flew around everywhere. And I remember her looking at me. I used to fuck up obviously I used to fuck up so much with her, and she used to always have this look where it was just like there was two looks. One was like I really can't believe you just fucking did that. Like I can't believe you just came into my work and caused a fucking scene and like made a mess. And then two was like an I can't believe you just did that, but more of like I'm like incredibly hurt. She had very great facial. That sounds terrible to say, like great facial expressions, but usually girls make faces and I don't give a shit. I couldn't tell you what color their eyes. I've dated girls for like 6 months. I can't tell you what color their fucking eyes were. Not because I'm not like attentive. I'm just not observant. I always joke if I ever witnessed a crime scene and the cops had to ask me what the guy looked like, I'd be fucking useless. Like how tall is he? Wasn't as tall as me. That's all I could tell you. What nationality? I don't know. He was dark. Like let's just say he was black because black people commit crimes. Like I don't know. I don't notice things about people like that. I just are they attractive or not? That's all I really need to make a decision. Do they have a job where I can throw something if we're in a fight? Cool. That's all I need to know. But yeah, if you're causing scenes and your wife or girlfriend's work at 40, then yeah, there's no hope. And if you have kids and you're cheating, especially if you're I'm not gonna say especially if you're the wife, because then some girl will say that I'm sexist or something, but yeah, that just seems like, yeah, you're second place to even Daisy Buchanan, and I like Daisy. I think she's a good person. I think she gets a bad rap from everybody who thinks they wanna be all scholarly and whatnot, but she's cool.
So, okay, so Tim has a girlfriend now.
That's awesome. Is she 16?
I don't know. She looks young, but I think like on her profile it says that she's like studying at university, so she must be at least 18.
Oh, that's good.
So, I don't know. I just think it's funny that he was just like, "You are the love of my life." And then a few weeks later, he finds her and he's like, "I have a girlfriend and she is the love of my life." So,
That's just how dudes are. And what's he, like, 23? That's how I was at 23.
yeah, I just like, okay. And now, like, it's like wild because he went from like just completely enamored with my existence, and now it's just like nothing. And this whole page is just him with the girl and kissing her and all this stuff and like she's of course like a little gothy girl, and and then they like post pictures of them doing like bloodletting rituals, and she's like, "He's my king." I'm like,
Hopefully he uses her as an ottoman for his feet.
I just, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's interesting. I know that like they've known each other for a while because as long as I've known him, every so often he would post a picture with her when they would hang out. So I don't know. I guess they must have had sex and then decided to lock in. But
Well, I
yeah.
say good for him. I say good for him. I wish I could be in my early 20s and, dating. I didn't really get to, because I was just with one girl for all my early 20s, but if I had been dating in my early 20s, there'd be no girl left unplowed in
Oh
California.
my God.
If I was let loose in California in my early 20s, but, and, yeah, he's got long hair, he can do it, it's good for him. I'm glad she looks young. You want a girl that's not under 18, but looks like she's under 18, that's the goal for
Yeah.
that's the goal for every man.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see how long it lasts. But yeah, no, that's like what's going on with him is he's just
So
like
are you jealous now?
no, but it's like I am a little, I wouldn't say upset, but it's like outside of him being weird, like he was my friend, and then it's like he went from like being my friend. But this is what happens when everybody is in a new relationship.
Well
I've
well well,
experienced this.
you realize now he can't talk to you because now there's all these messages to you telling you that he loves you. So, like,
Yeah,
if
no,
his
I
girlfriend sees he's talking to you, she's gonna be like, "Isn't this that fucking bitch that you said was the love of your life?" And fucking
well, I even said to him, I was like, "Does she know who I am?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm just asking." But it just kind of was like,
Dude, he'll be tired of her in, like, 2 months. If
no,
he's
I
in
was like, I give it 6 months. But no, it's just like it was cool having like this, like, this friend, and then it's like, okay, now I just don't exist to him. I mean, I do, but it's like it's all about the girl and whatever. Like all my girlfriends that have gotten new boyfriends, this always happens where they find a man, they're all about him, they only post about him, and then 6 months later they're like, "I'm so sorry I abandoned you. He was such an asshole." So I'm expecting something of the sort to happen. Plus he's young. So but yeah, no, it was just like, "I love you so much. I cry every night and I hold that letter that you wrote to me." And I'm going to fly out to California, and he's like, "Actually, no, she is the love of my life." I was like, "Okay, bye."
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So,
sounds about right.
yeah.
He'll be back in, like, 2 or 3 months, he'll get
Oh,
tired of her.
God. Yeah, I think so. I also think he might be with her because I have a feeling that he moved in with her because he had nowhere to go. I think he was like, I don't know if he was like homeless or something. I think he might pull he pulled a U where he like needed somewhere to stay. So he was like, but I don't know that. But he did mention to me that he was looking for a new place to stay because his roommate had kicked him out. And then he, at the same exact time, he started going out with her. So I have a feeling that might be intertwined.
Yeah, I'm sure, it'll last like 6 months. Or he'll at least get
Holding the, yeah.
he'll at least get tired of her after like 2 or 3 months and like start talking to you more again or whatever. He'll start complaining about her to you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care. He's like 10 years younger than us. So I'm just like, have fun with her. Like, I'll talk to my other friends. But yes, holding the letter and yes, no, that's what he. And then he was just like, I should fly out to California and meet you. And that's when I was like, no, 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 like that. No, let's not do that.
You should have let him. You should have let him, and then you should have, I don't know, like your husband could have beat him up. That would have been awesome.
Well, Nick was just like, if he comes here, yeah. Nick would just go speak with him, but
Yeah, speak with him.
speak with him. I mean, Nick's like a, 250-pound power lifter. He would smush him.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. It'd be hilarious, dude. Tim.
Yeah, but like, okay, so like, I don't know. I wonder, is Tim's not still working for Verizon? Like, that guy is not going to buy a ticket to the US on Verizon money. I don't know what the exchange rate is, but I'm certain it's probably quite a bit. That would.
Well, I don't even care about the money. I was just gonna say Tim is certainly not putting up a fight against many dudes. So that'd be hilarious.
But that's why he uses like witchcraft. So he like.
Okay, well, witchcraft, I'm sorry, is no match for a 250-pound dude. Like, it's just like, put your witchcraft up against my buddy who whoops ass and like tell me what's gonna happen.
So he told me that like something happened with his roommate, and like the roommate put a curse on him, and that like just terrible things were happening, so he had to flee. And then what happened is the roommate pretty much destroyed everything he owned. Like, I don't know if you've seen in his photos, but he always wore that like long leather coat with the pants. He had like a full suit. I guess the roommate like tore it up with scissors or something like that. So he had like nothing. And then at the exact same time, this girl comes in the picture. So I'm like, he was probably maybe like, hey, I like you. It's like Final Fantasy. Yeah.
I wish somebody would cast a spell on me just to make my life more interesting.
But then, so he's in a new band as well. And the band members, they look older, which isn't a bad thing. So he's not going for high schoolers, but that's the current state of Jenny. I also love how like one of the last conversations I had with him, I just flat out said, "Hey, are you Jenny?" And he was just like, "No." Instead of being like, "What are you talking about?"
That's the most obvious part. If somebody messaged me and said, "Hey, are you Jenny?" I'd be like, "What the fuck are you?" Like, not just no.
Said, no. So
no, I'm not.
Talking about. That's like.
In a very rare case, he could be one of those straightforward dudes who's just like, well, no, my name's not Jenny, so no, I'm not Jenny. But I don't think that's the case.
No, it was just like a no.
Yeah.
That's weird. So you definitely are. Interesting.
It's just weird that he told you that he's in love with you, but then the one thing he wouldn't fess up to is that he's Jenny. It's like, bro, you just spilled the beans on everything, but you're still gonna keep the hidden YouTube account secret. Like that's like if I like murdered my girlfriend's mother and then cheated on her, came clean to her about the murder, but then was like, no, I didn't cheat on you. Just like, come on, like you just fucking killed my mom, and you're gonna cover up the little cheat. Come on. But yeah, it's that is super funny. Man, I don't know. I wish I could get someone to put a curse on me just like for fun. Or I wish I could fight a
No.
250-pound man, just because even if I get beat up, it'd be more interesting than what I've had going on for the last fucking 5 years. That Romanian cross-dressing swag.
Yeah. No, he does wear makeup in some of his pictures, I think so.
Well, no one wears better makeup than I did back in my day. I had that
It-
shit down.
I think he wears lipstick, if I'm
Yeah, that's weak.
correct. That's weak.
That's weak.
Okay, so you saw Nosferatu,
Yeah, I did.
as did I. It
What
was
did you
okay.
think?
It was okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was a cool. Yeah, honestly, I think seeing it in theater is what made it cool. If I was sitting here watching it
Yeah.
in my room, I wouldn't enjoy it as much. But any of those 1800s movies, they look cool because they just look operatic and kind of like symphony of horror, like the original on a big screen.
Right.
Oh, my little sister, who's 14, saw it with us, and I was talking to Trey about this. Which I don't like it either, but she's really kind of like annoyingly like she's not down with like sex scenes in movies, which like I said, I'm also not with my 14-year-old sister, but like hey, sometimes some shit I'd never seen this movie. I don't know what's happening. Like some shit might just pop up. And obviously there was, and it wasn't even really that crazy in that movie, but she was like trying to act like she was all mad about it. I think she was actually just scared.
I mean, I guess like the only parts that I enjoyed was because I read the book, I was comparing what was in the book and what wasn't. And there were a number of accuracies, but they did change the names. Like in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I don't like comparing it to Dracula though. I still don't. I know that's what it's based off of.
But they use that's the story. A
I
lot
know,
of that whole story is in the book.
I know, but I don't care. Like so, everybody, the big debate now is the mustache. That is the big debate going on. Is Orlok having the mustache, which I don't like, but all the
that
people,
was in the book.
No, that's on Vlad the Impaler. Is where that's how people are defending it. So people on the internet, anyways, are defending it by saying Orlok is based on Dracula. Dracula is based on Vlad the Impaler. And I'm like, okay, well, if you're going to use that as your defense, then you need to be commenting and saying, where's Orlok's long hair and cool little hat that Vlad the Impaler is wearing in his portrait?
Yeah.
I don't think it needs to be a direct, yes, it's a knockoff, but bro, it's been over 100 fucking years since that ripoff happened. Like, take that motherfucking mustache off of that fucking decrepit vampire. Get that mustache off of him.
No, I would agree, but I mean, I'm just saying that in the book that the vampire had a mustache, and I think they did that because of that.
I've read that Robert Eggers is pretty nerdy about source material, books, history, stuff like that. So, like, yeah.
The only thing that he really got different was he changed all of the names.
Which that's fine.
So, yeah. But, I mean, Lily Rose Depp, she's okay. She did that one HBO show with
she's hot enough.
What's his name? I forget his name. The Weeknd or something like that.
You think she's ever hooked up with Johnny Depp?
Her dad?
Yes. Way to just destroy the joke immediately. I mean, yeah, I thought it was cool. I like so I didn't like how it's not even necessarily the mustache with Orlok that's my complaint. I just thought he looked too human, but that's just me liking the classic movie, because in the classic to me Orlok is like the pure monster vampire, whereas Dracula is the human looking vampire. That's to me the main difference between the two.
Yeah.
But I think Orlok looked too human in this new one. I liked how they made him huge, because in the original, he looks kind of small and twerpy.
Yeah.
But he looks more monsterish. But so I liked how they made him really big and intimidating in this one. But he just looked a little too human for me. But that's just me like picking it like how I would have done it or wanted to see it.
Well, he was also a shapeshifter, so he could look human to blend in. But I liked his voice. A lot of people have said they didn't care for his voice. I liked the voice.
It took me a little bit to get used to, but it was cool.
Yeah.
The only thing about the voice is that if I was a real estate agent and I walked into a guy's house and he started talking to me like that, I'd be like, fuck you. I'm out. I don't care about this job anymore. Your voice is booming through the halls of your castle. I'm leaving. But yeah, I thought it was cool.
There's-
It was
yeah,
good.
it was okay. I
Only-
preferred Bram Stoker's Dracula with Winona Ryder. That was just
Oh, that's super lame. I prefer the original Universal Classic, if we're going that route.
yeah.
See, I don't even like to compare the two. I would say, do you prefer the original Nosferatu from 1920, whatever, or do you prefer the new one?
I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on that.
It's pretty fun.
Yet to see that.
It's hard. Honestly, it's hard as fuck to watch silent movies. I've watched that. I've watched The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, which is like a favorite of a lot of people's. I've watched a little bit of, and I want to watch the whole thing. It's I don't remember what it's called. L'Inferno, which is that silent movie, either from like late 1800s or early 1910s or 20s. It's based off Dante's Inferno.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a cool little scene where like the devil eats a person, and it's like happening in the background, and
okay.
the silent stuff is cool. I like the short ones. So if you watch like I can never pronounce his name. It's like George Milieu, George. He's like he made a trip to the moon in like the late 1800s.
Okay.
And that's a quick little like 9-minute movie. 1902 is when he made a trip to the moon. And it's you've at least seen a picture of the moon from a trip to the moon with the moon with the face.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Fuck, what's his name? It's a French, I think it's George Melly. Dude, it's fucking like I was gonna say ancient French. It's his name, dude, Georges, but I'm pretty sure the S is silent, and then Melies, and the E's both have those apostrophes over them, but one faces this way, one faces that way. Yeah, 1800s French shit. But he's like the father of like not practical effects, but effects in movies. But anyways, yeah, that was fun because it's only like 9 minutes, so it's easy to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was watching a bunch of stuff about silent movies after watching Nosferatu, and it's funny. I guess George, the guy who made a trip to the moon, he's like one of the greatest. But Thomas Edison used to rip his shit off. Like literally, would just take his movies and put his name on it, and then distribute them. Which is funny because Thomas Edison is like known for stealing a bunch of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's funny that he was even stealing movies. I didn't know Thomas Edison was really in like the movie business, but I guess he was back then.
Okay, so on another note, did you see that video I sent you with Amanda Bynes?
Yeah, I don't think she's autistic.
I don't know. Like, she's definitely giving autistic vibes.
I think she's just on drugs.
It's just like the way she speaks, it's very like, okay, I guess the way the reason I say that is because I watched that show Love on the Spectrum, and one of the girls on that show is just like Amanda. And I sent the video to a friend who has autism, and she was like, oh yeah, she's definitely looking like she has like even the way like she moved her body, like her hands were always by her side. It was kind of a little robotic. And then
can I use the word autistic in a YouTube title, do you think?
Yeah, why not?
That's not a bad word.
No, it's not like a curse word.
Well, you never know. You never know with YouTube.
Wait, what are you gonna say? Amanda Bynes has autism?
No, but I changed the title as we go, so I have fat people are the worst, and then is Amanda Bynes on drugs or autistic? I've censored the word drugs.
You should do that because people will be like, "What the fuck?"
No one's gonna click on this shit. But dude, yeah, I don't know. And when I say drugs, keep in mind I mean prescription drugs. I bet you she's on fucking like Ritalin and fucking some kind of anxiety medication, and
what is that?
Autistic people are the worst.
Do you know this person?
Peace out, Pat. I feel like I've seen that name before or that picture before, but no, I don't know. Have you been here before, brother? Oh, autistic people. I was gonna make a joke about this guy being dyslexic.
Because, yeah, no, go ahead.
There's an argument for. I think self-diagnosed autistic people are the worst because they're not actually autistic. They just want an excuse to be stupid and be losers, which I'm a real life loser, so don't get me wrong. When I use that word, it's coming from someone who knows, like, and it takes one to know one type of deal. If you go to your doctor and your doctor tells you you're autistic, then sure, I'm down. But Amanda Bynes perked up. Yeah, she's probably on Percocet. Well,
Well,
no, that's the thing. I don't think she's on like hard. I
no.
know I'm talking about prescriptions and Percocet is a prescription. I would bet you she's on like Valium and she's on like maybe even well, she's not on Ozempic. She's kind of fat. Uh, like a Valium, maybe like an anxiety. Well,
But her bodily movements, if you look at her, they move slightly like it's like rigid, kind of robotic. And then the way she speaks, it's like it's like autistic people. It's just like she's
are you
very intently listening,
are
and
you
then
saying
she
autistic people move like robots?
well, not all of them, but I'm just saying, like when I watch the show Love on the Spectrum, some people on the spectrum, they move themselves in specific ways, not as fluid as others. But I mean, I don't know, I'm not going to say like Amanda Bynes is autistic, but it's just interesting to me that there's this huge change, and it's like what's going on. I mean, it's not really, she doesn't need to explain herself, but it's just like watching her face and then seeing how like she was as a kid. It's like she can't, her face doesn't really move at all, and it's quite puffy.
Well, it's been puffy
So
for like 10 years now.
yeah, I mean, I know that she got some surgery done. From, I think she said something about that, but she's also 40, which is crazy that she's 40. But I don't know. I don't know what's going on. What's going on there? There was one guy in that video that I actually know. So if I ever bump into him at the bar sometime, I'm just gonna ask him like, so what was the vibe like with her? Because what's also crazy is like, did you see the art that she made that was for sale?
I didn't watch that far.
Okay, so like the art that she made was just kind of like little drawings and just like spray
Super
paint
autistic.
like yeah, so fucking basic. Some guy was like, I'm gonna buy one, and I looked at it and it was literally like a stick figure, and then she wrote like love you bro on top of it. The guy paid $1,500 for it.
Yeah, because Amanda
What?
Bynes drew it.
I know, but like what?
You ever heard the conspiracy theory that art, like pretty much all of art, is just like a money laundering deal? Like that's why art is always so expensive and people spend millions of dollars on paintings that are,
Yeah,
especially when you get into like obscure art when it's like a guy who drew a fucking polka dot on a giant canvas and it sells for $10 million and people see
yeah.
it. People think, yeah, a lot of people think art is a money. That's I'm not saying Amanda Bynes is in the fucking art world, but yeah, like museum art, like classical art and like artsy fartsy obscure art. A lot of people think that's all just money laundering. Because no, there's no way you're paying $50 million for a couple dots on a page that some guy drew in a Xanax blackout and called like fine art, and says it represents the middle part of World War II. Like you know, it's sardonic, yet it's playful and classy. And dude, you fucking farted on this piece of paper after a long night of drinking. Like that's what's going on.
I love that one art piece. I think it's like it's just a chair like in a room. They usually have it at like a modern art museum. It's like some guy just put like a chair
Yeah, I
down,
missed
and
it
like
right there.
that is the piece.
The art piece that so John Lennon met Yoko Ono. I think I've talked about this at one of her art exhibits, and his favorite piece of hers that really led him to just needing to meet this artist was you walked into a room that was all white, and there's a ladder set in the center of the room, and you climb up the ladder, and you get up there, and there's a little piece of paper on the ladder, and you grab the piece of paper, and I'm pretty sure it just says yes. And John talked about how it's so beautiful because he's so glad that the piece of paper didn't say something mean. It didn't say fuck you or it didn't insult him. It's such a relief to get to the top of the ladder and there's a positive note. I'm like, you fucking forgot. Fuck all this bullshit.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I've seen some weird. There's a piece that I always see at the LA County Museum of Art, and they have it's a chair with like a hanger on it, and it's supposed to represent like backwoods abortion.
Yeah,
It's like, and it's like a really old piece. I think it's, it's at least like 60 something years old. But it's supposed to be like a reminder not to go back. So
yeah,
it's,
fucking hanger.
it's like a hanger on like a chair represents, yeah. Don't go
Yeah,
there.
I've always wanted to create some bullshit like that and get it to be seen as, like high class art. I don't know what I would do though. I'd put like a, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't even know how people come up with this shit. Like, I mean, it really is just stuff like someone is just sitting around in the Xanax blackout and just like makes the worst painting in the world. But because it's a person that's like respected, they're like, oh my God, look
You
at
know what it is? You have to come up with a really intelligent explanation, something
yeah.
just like out of this world. And then people will be like, oh, that's creative. It's more about the explanation, I think, than the piece. And then that kind of ties in. I haven't been to the Orange County Museum of Art, and I am into that stuff.
I've been to a museum in Seattle, and it was a cool museum. It wasn't like, it wasn't like one of those obscure, it wasn't Yoko Ono's art. It was actual art. I really barely remember what I saw in there,
I
but that was
went
fun.
I went to LACMA, the LA County Museum of Art, recently, and they had a bunch of Picassos. And like, because Nick works with mostly celebrity clientele, and a lot of celebrities, what they'll do is they'll like buy art and then like rent it out to the museum, and it's like a big tax write-off for them. So we walk into this room with like some of the most famous Picassos around the world, and he's like, oh yeah, I've seen these, they were in Ellen's living room. I'm like, what? So I guess Ellen DeGeneres owns a number of Picassos, and she's
I also never believe that celebrities like that are brilliant. I think they just are like, "Oh, no, I'm rich, so what can I buy?"
well, it's a tax write-off,
Yeah, it's just like,
so
dude, Ellen DeGeneres is not like a fucking Picasso connoisseur. Like, she's just rich now and, like you said,
well,
it's a tax write-off.
she recently just sold both of her homes in California, and she moved to the UK.
Yeah, she's in Europe now,
Yeah, so I don't know with her wife.
which is, it's funny because people are like, "Oh, it's because, the election." Some people think, "Oh, it's 'cause, she was somehow connected to Diddy."
I've heard
Dude
that too.
dude, I think it's just that she's a fucking no one likes her now. She just got kicked out of Hollywood. Her time's over.
Yeah, no, I've heard. I mean, Nick told me that she's definitely one of the meanest women he's ever met.
Yeah, no, she got canceled. It was pretty serious,
Yeah,
and
no, she's on the farm in the UK.
which is good for her. I'd rather be on a farm than where the fuck I am right now. So I can't talk shit about her anymore.
What's your tax write-off theory that
The one that you just said about that art's like tax write-offs for celebrities.
Yeah. Okay.
And then my
Yeah.
theory, like I said, was that most high class art is just money laundering operations. Same thing with like
Yeah.
Hunter Biden. Nobody's actually buying $20,000 of painting from Hunter Biden. And he's, they're just doing political deals or selling crack or whatever the fuck Hunter Biden's doing.
Yeah.
And I'm a Hunter Biden fan, mind you, that man knows how to live. The guy's just living his life. He just is unfortunately the son of a politician. Well, it's double-edged sword. He is fortunately because that's how he gets all of his money, but also unfortunately because he, can't get out of the spotlight.
My uncle is actually an art dealer.
Yeah, you should ask him if he's ever done heroin.
No, he's not. He works for a man that has like billions of dollars, and he sends my uncle out to basically go find people because they're South African. He goes to find people like local artists in South Africa, and then pays them to make art for this guy, and then this guy sells it. And they deal with like millions and millions of dollars and celebrities. Like they were having lunch the other day with Billy Zane. I was like, what? Where's my invite? So, and then, like Orlando Bloom and all of them, they all buy art from him. I was like, my favorite story that my uncle has ever told me was that because he hangs out with Orlando Bloom quite a bit, and then his boss. Um, it was like around the time when he first started dating Katy Perry, and I guess they were like hanging out, and he was talking about how nervous he was to call Katy. He was just like, "Oh, is she gonna like me? You know, like what do I say?" And I'm like, "You're fucking Orlando Bloom, and you want to call Katy Perry, and you're nervous? What?" So, and my uncle just said, "Just give her a call and say what's up," and then he did, and now they're married and they have kids.
It would depend on the era. Like, I Kissed a Girl era Katy Perry, I'd be nervous as fuck to call, but like short hair, dyke looking
Well,
Katy, dude, I
what?
wouldn't waste my time calling short hair Katy Perry. Fuck
Well,
that.
it was. I mean, they've been together for a long fucking time. So, you know, I mean, they've been together what for 10 plus years.
It's also super weird that celebrities like really don't act like married. Like I don't know, that's not like really like a married way to act, but it's like, dude, the last 1,000 times I've seen Katy Perry on TV or online, like I wouldn't like I don't even think about how she's a fucking
Okay,
married woman.
so they've been together since 2016. I
Oh,
don't
that's
know.
not that. That's I'm pretty sure that's when she was in like her ugly era.
What?
Yeah, dude, let me look up a picture of Katy Perry from 2016. She was
Oh,
probably,
that's so funny.
I think she had the stupid hair at that point.
And she has long hair in the pictures. Oh, was it her with blonde hair or the long?
Okay, no, when I look up 2016, it's her with long black hair. There's one of her with purple hair, but no, when she had like the short blonde hair, 2017. Okay, so 2017, she cuts her hair short. Like
Yeah.
that Katy Perry, I wouldn't even call. I don't fuck with girls with hair like girls with short hair like that. I always say are like the potato chips at the bottom of the bag that just kind of sink and they suck and they're short and crunched up. And I dated
Well,
a girl in high school and she had shorter hair than me. And
really?
I kind of just dated her because my friends wanted me to. This was like my freshman year. I was very like naive and innocent at the time, and all my friends were like, "Oh, this girl likes you. You should get with her." And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay." And then my future girlfriend, the girl I dated mostly throughout high school, off and on, the one that I jokingly refer to as my real life Jackie Burkhart from that '70s show, Trey, Dirty White Boy, know exactly what I'm talking about. We were just friends at the time. She used to make fun of me. She was like, "Dude, your hair is longer than your girlfriend's. That's fucking whack." So I'd go to my girlfriend and be like, "Dude, girls are making fun of me because of your stupid fucking hair." And it was funny. I just saw a Facebook post in my Facebook memories from like, I don't know, like years ago, but years after me and the short hair girl broke up, and she was still complaining about me making fun of her short hair in the comments, and she's always hated me. Even like as recently as like 5 or so years ago, because she's friends with some of my like old friends, and they would tell me like, "Oh yeah, she still fucking hates you, and she thinks you're fucking sexist because you used to make fun of her short hair." And they fuck her and her fucking muffin top.
It's terrible.
But yeah, no, I don't short hair girls, dude. It's like 1 in a billion that can pull it off. Just don't, you, dude. You're a
You
girl.
you have to be kind of like Twiggy. You have to be like frail thin, and then I think it looks good, and you have to wear like boxy clothes.
What are boxy clothes?
Like clothes that are like kind of baggy, you know? Like okay, like Twiggy, the 60s model. She had short hair. Like you have to have that kind of body type. You know, like no assets. You have to have like no boobs, no ass, just kind of like a twig. And then I think it looks good.
Yeah, I just think girls should have long hair. It's the same reason that like dudes have beards, because girls don't have beards. Dudes don't have long hair. Obviously, there are dudes with long hair, but if you're a girl, like just have your fucking long hair. That's what you do. You're a girl. You don't have a beard. You have long hair. You don't have short hair. You're a girl. Guys, grow your facial hair out because you're not a fucking
Do
girl.
you have facial hair?
I shaved just a couple days ago for my New Year's plans.
Right. Okay.
But no, I can't grow a real beard. Luckily, usually on the stream, the poor quality makes my beard look kind of fuller.
Okay.
Usually take advantage of the 720p quality on here. But yeah, no, I shaved right before New Year's, but I probably won't shave again for a long time. Well, I plan on shaving. I plan on changing the facial hair I like shave and don't shave. I have a plan going forward. It'll take some kind of maintenance, but I'll deal with it.
Okay, so here's a question for you about hair. Um, what do you think about girls that don't shave their pits? I have a friend that has like full bush under her arms, and it's like she's really pretty. And it's like you look at her and she's got like everything going on, but then she lifts the arms, and it's like, really? And that's just, she doesn't want to shave them, you know?
Girls with
And
armpit
she's,
hair.
and
Uh,
she still gets a lot of guys.
so girls with armpit hair, dirty white boy. It's funny that you mentioned that. That's not the girl that I was talking about, but I do have funny stories about that girl too. Protomex, no, there were no tortas at the party. I was very out of place at this party. This was like, I think one guy was like a doctor. He was there with his
What did
wife.
you do?
His wife was like the one pretty girl there, and obviously that's a doctor's wife. So what the fuck am I gonna do? Drunk in Japan chimes in. I'm a dude and I shave my pits. Pit hair is gnarly. I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't shave my pits. Okay, so girls not shaving their armpits. The thing about girls with their armpits is they think that not shaving their armpits is like this, like, "Oh, I'm so hardcore feminist," but they shave their legs. So it's like, if you're not gonna shave your pits, you need to not shave shit. If you really are down if you're really down with the cause, don't shave shit. You know, come at me with that same energy when it comes to your pussy and your fucking legs, because they don't. They just grow the pits out and they think it's this cool statement. No, they're fucking posers. 2, yeah, it's gross. Bro, sorry, it's fucking gross. I have an ex-girlfriend, my favorite ex-girlfriend that I talk about all the time, the girl that I drove around town drunk. She's a hippie now, and she has armpit hair, and she like hikes the Appalachians and like grows her armpit hair out, and it's the worst part about her. I still follow her on Instagram. She won't follow me back though. I'm still pissed about that, and I know she knows that I follow her. So I don't give a fuck anymore, dude. It's this fucking girl from the Central Valley that the girl that I stole from a dude at a show. We played a show in Modesto, and this band opened up for us, and the vocalist showed up with this girl. And by the end of the night, this girl was not with that guy in the band. My band headlined, which is already establishing dominance. Like, of course, the guy headlining over you is gonna leave the show with your fucking girlfriend. But yeah, no, girls should just, dude, just shave your fucking armpits. I shaved my armpits in high school. I don't anymore because first of all, dude, I don't leave my fucking house, so there's no excuse for it. But, I don't know, like, if I was dating a girl and for some reason she was like, "I don't like armpit hair," I'd have no okay, fine, I'll take fucking 10 that's the thing, dude, it's like 10 seconds in the shower, dude, it's not like a job that you're just fucking it's like 10 seconds, dude, just rub the fucking razor up the armpits and be done with it.
You know what I just can't vibe with though is guys that shave their arms and legs.
I shaved my
I
legs once in middle
cannot.
school,
I
just and
That's
yeah,
gross
never
to me. Yeah. No, go ahead.
I was just saying, I've shaved my legs once in middle school, but never again. I have kind of hairy legs, but not really. But I've never seen butthole ring hair, at least not on a girl. I don't know if that's what you're saying, but, yeah, no, the pits thing. No, no, I'm not saying that girls should not shave anything, but what I'm saying is by their own logic, it's, because they think it's like this statement. You know what I'm saying? It's like you're a poser. That'd be like if I was gonna act like I was down for some cause, but then I only really did like half of it. I mean, it's like virtue signaling essentially. It's like the guys that go out and protest the shit, but you ask them what they're talking about and they don't actually know. I don't want to get I don't want to fucking get political at all, but girls shaving their pits or no, girls not shaving the pits while also shaving their legs and everything else is basically like when you see a motherfucker chanting from the river to the sea, and then you go out and you ask them what river and what sea, and they're like, "Oh, well, I don't know." It's
What?
the same fucking thing. Unless you have arm and leg sleeves to get a shave and get a lotion rubbed down on them things every now and again. Rarely though, for a quick aesthetic. Yeah, yeah, if it's just like on an occasion, I can get down with that. But
Yeah, but like a guy shaving his arms and legs,
no, they just shouldn't. But again, I
no,
guess
just
tattoos could be like a different. I
you
don't
know
have.
what it is too? It's like, okay, so I used to have a friend a long time ago that would shave his legs. and he was an athlete, and it just looked bad when like he wouldn't shave, and then it's like the little bristles are coming in, and it just didn't look right. It's like either just be hairy, just be hairy. So
Yeah.
that's yeah, for men that's what I think. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I do have one friend who
Doesn't shave her pits.
she does, it's crazy. It's like it's it's the friend I was telling you about that likes the homeless guys.
Oh, so she's just attracting her natural mate.
Yeah, it's like it's wild though. It's like she will wear like just the craziest like club girl outfits, like ready to go, looking hot, and then it's like arms lift and it's like what the fuck? You know, it's like what if you were gonna hook up with Lily Rose Depp and then she lifts her arms and there's like
Well, there are exceptions. You know, if I'm about to fuck Johnny Depp's daughter, I don't care if her fucking, I don't care if her like butt hair is braided. Bro, this is Johnny Depp's daughter. I'm establishing dominance, and then I'm demanding a payment from Johnny Depp to not talk about it. Is what I'm doing. But
oh, that's funny.
and then there are also like exceptions. If I don't know if Sydney Sweeney, I get my shot there, and she's also got some peach fuzz. Fuck it, whatever. It's Sydney Sweeney, but generally it's a shave your pits. It's just not that. It's just not that hard. That's the thing. I did that shit in high school, so I can tell you, it's not hard. Like you are trying to be gross if you're not shaving your pits. It's like the
Yeah.
kid in high school that has like a 0.9 grade point. It's like, dude, you're trying to get bad grades. Like, there's no excuse for you to have hair on your armpits when it takes fucking 10 seconds in the shower to take off. It doesn't get any more bad than homeless. Yeah, is she into real homeless guys, or like if I like was down on my luck and she saw me on the street?
I think it's kind of both because she did actually date a homeless guy.
There's no way. Well, I'm talking like the guy that's screaming at people on the corner. There's no way.
No, like okay, so she did like go out with one of those like transients, like one of those like it was like a hot guy.
He's like a hipster homeless guy, like the guy that listens to Mac DeMarco and wears overalls.
And he's like doing heroin on this, like in a tent, and
Yeah,
but it was like really hot, so they got together, and then he lived at her house.
Dude. So I did go through a phase. Yeah, I remember that too. I did go through a phase from about 18 to 19. No, yeah, it was like 19-ish, 18-ish. I was busking. I would go down to the college town next door, and I'd hang out downtown with my acoustic guitar, and I'd sit there and put my guitar bag out. Dude, I used to make like $100 a night. I'd drive to my job in Sacramento, and I'd stop off in Davis, and I'd play guitar, and literally fucking 80 to $100 a night, and then I'd go to work and spend it on Percocets and Norcos and shit for my coworkers. But dude, girls would bring me beer and food. One girl gave me her phone number. I'm pretty sure she was drunk though, because I texted her the next morning and you could tell she was like, fuck, I gave this dude my fucking number. And she texted me like twice and that was it. But yeah, no. So I guess I can see that. My theory was always that though, I'm not a fucking dude screaming at people on a corner on meth. So they're like, oh, look, here's a guy. Because girls like the down on their luck puppy dogs. That's like why half of my girlfriends have ever gotten with me, because they think I'm a guy that like needs help, and they're gonna be the guy, or they're gonna be the girl to come.
I can fix him.
Yeah. So that was my theory for that. They saw this homeless guy play. I never said I was homeless. That was always the other thing. Jesus,
yeah. I had a friend in high school, and he really did this. He shaved his pubes, put them in a little bag, and sold them on eBay and said it was Pamela Anderson's hair. Someone bought it for $60.
$60. I might buy it too if it says
You
that's the description.
might buy it.
If that's the description, like why? Yeah, $60, dude. I got that much money to waste. Sure. Yeah. I wouldn't believe it, but I'd just be like, just on the off chance, because it's clearly, dude, it's a fucking blonde woman with big tit to her. What was this kid? Were this kid's pubes blonde?
Yeah, he was very blonde. So I didn't see his pubes, but the hair on his head was very blonde. So
Yeah, so they probably were blonde.
so you could probably do that to this day. It's just chop them and say there's some celebrity's hair.
That's gross. Yeah, none of my
Yeah, that
friends
is
ever did.
gross.
I'm pretty sure none of my friends ever did anything gross with their pubes. Yeah, I can't think of any, at least as far as I've got stories that are like related to. I'm hardcore. I'm surprised that they sold pubes in Japan vending machines. I've heard they sold like used underwear in Japanese vending machines. Like you can buy used underwear. I'd be curious. I'd buy a pair.
Wild.
This hair is red. What gives? Yeah.
So I went to Vegas
Oh yeah. Huh.
for Christmas. And so we invited like 12 of our friends. And then my friend who likes the crazy guys, she came with, she brought
Is she
the
hot?
guy. She's very pretty.
Can I see it? Can you pull up a picture?
I always say that like if she saw you, like you guys would actually
pull up a picture.
Together. How should I do that?
I don't care. Hold it up to the fucking screen.
Okay,
I don't care.
Find. She works for the postal service, so she gets full benefits.
You told me about this broad. I'm gonna sleep on her couch. I'm gonna come live on her couch.
I'll show you her face, and then I'll show you her body.
Send me the pictures. I don't put them on screen yet. Send them to me first, and I'll fine. We'll respect her privacy.
Do you want me to send you a DM right now, or do you want me to show you on the screen?
No, just send me the DMs.
Okay. Let me.
Here we go. Used underwear is a fact. Sold in. I can't read this shit. I'm gonna sound disrespectful, like Harajuku. B1 floor at the M-Pop factory, just outside of the train station off the. Dude,
okay,
that's so
badass. I just sent you her pictures.
I would buy used underwear for sure. And the best part is you don't know what girl they're coming from. So it just could be the nastiest girl. Hopefully it is the nastiest girl. If I'm buying used underwear at a vending machine, I hope they're coming from the nastiest girl Japan has to offer. All right, I'm waiting.
Did you get the pictures?
No, I'm waiting for them.
Oh,
they also have period panties. That's a little disgusting. I'm not that hardcore.
Well, okay. So anyways, we went to Vegas. She came. She brought the guy that she's seeing, and it's like incredibly toxic. And she loves alcohol. So what happens between her and the guy that, oh, did you get it? Yeah, that's her. What happens is they both kind of fuel each other, and then they're always fighting in public. So we go out to dinner, and she's like, I want the biggest drink on the menu. So she gets like this giant 70-ounce fish bowl. She drinks it all to herself. And then, of course, she's like completely hammered. Mind you, she's wearing a dress that starts here and it ends like it's like she's wearing a piece of fabric. And so we go to Circus, and by then she's like plastered, and like her man friend is kind of like, you need to calm down, like you're getting out of hand. Because what happened is like they'll go out, and then one of them will start flirting with somebody, and then they'll get angry, so another one, it just turns into this like whole thing. So she's drunk, and like in Circus, you know, on the second floor, they have all the carnival games. So she's like, I want one of those toys. So she goes up to like some guy, and she, you know, she's wearing like nothing. And she's just like, hey, like, you know, like basically flirting with this guy in front of, you know, her man. And then the guy is like, oh my God, like tits. So he gives her a stuffed animal just for free. So she's like walking around, basically going up to like every employee trying to get like a free stuffed toy out of him. And like all these guys, because they're all like high school kids, are like, oh my God. Some of them actually look petrified. So then her guy is like, you need to calm down, like you're kind of freaking people out. She's the kind of girl where like if you tell her that, she's gonna accelerate the behavior times
12. Hold on, I'm gonna interrupt really quick. She's not as hot as you made her sound. She's also she's
really pretty.
She's also a little too thick for my personal preference, but if she's offering a couch to live on, then she's definitely in there. Can I follow her?
I should probably tell her about you.
I won't follow her. I won't follow her just yet.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she's definitely not, you made her sound like she's gonna be a fucking 9 or something.
Well, I mean, I always think that she's really pretty, so but that's
I
me as a
I
woman
I I
looking at
think,
my,
like I
friends
said, if she's
people.
offering up the couch 100%, and I definitely think most of chat right now, looking at the options in chat, would partake, is what I would say. But anyway, so she's drunk, she's causing a scene, Circus Circus, best casino
Yeah,
in
yeah, so
Vegas.
she, if you tell her while she's inebriated, "Listen, you need to calm down," she's not. She's gonna, like, take it to the next level, so then, of course, it's like a fight ensues. We're in Circus Circus.
What time is it?
It's, like, 12 a.m., and then what happens is, like
Someone's gonna get shot.
all the guys were like, okay, like, they all just left to go to slots of fun. And basically, like, I was just like, okay, whatever. I really like gambling. So I just picked a machine and sat down. She's kind of like, doesn't know what's going on. So she follows me and then she just kind of slumps over into a chair. And then she's like, I don't know what I did wrong. And I'm like, dude, you just like flirted with every man in Circus Circus. And so then it just the weekend went on and I think they continued fighting throughout the whole thing because she kept getting drunk. And then it's like we went the next afternoon, we went out to brunch and she got like endless mimosas and you can always just get them to go. So we went to the Forum Shops at Caesars because I wanted to go shopping and she's got like 3 cups in hand, like just fisting the drinks as like, I'm trying to go into the Fendi store, but they won't let her in. And then she's like completely drunk, just like at the mall. It was a whole thing. I don't know what happened because she kind of like went off. From what I heard, is she got like violently ill with all of the alcohol, and then just like came downstairs to the casino and I don't know. I think she was like screaming and shouting. I don't know, but I always think that you two would be perfect together because I feel like
You
you
make her
would
sound
add
like a handful, though.
you would add fuel to the fire for her.
I'd probably treat her like shit, honestly.
Yeah, but so the guy that she's currently like hooking up with, he has like
What's a pog?
what's a pog?
Yeah, Protomax, you gotta explain that one.
Well, the guy that she's currently seeing has 2 baby mamas and he like it was like one of those situations where like he beat her up, she got a restraining order, and then she was like, "No, wait, I love him," and then
Oh, that's awesome.
it was like one of those.
That's every man's real
So she's
goals.
like still hanging out with him, even though he's seeing other
Wait,
women.
your friend got beat up and then said she still loves him, or the baby mama?
My friend, she got
That's awesome. That's the goal. If you can whoop a
she
girl's ass
filed
and she still loves you, dude, you're
she
in there.
and she filed a restraining order, and then she was like, "No, wait," and so and so. But it's funny because like she went through the whole process of it, like it went to the judge and everything, and then she was like, "No, I love him," but he's seeing other women, and I think like she knows about it, and he told her he's going to start seeing other women as well, and she gets jealous about that, but she's like, no, wait. So I always say like, why the fuck are you with this guy, but I don't know. But they're extraordinarily toxic to one another, so we always know like when we go out with them, like it's going to be wild. But most likely, I don't know.
She had
It's
a
definitely a wild one.
very large upper half.
Yeah,
To put it
very.
politely. Yeah, no,
Very. But I don't know why. I always like, even Nick is always like, oh yeah, like Rob and Kira, I could see that because all of her ex-boyfriends look like you. They're all over 6 foot, they're scrawny. They all, she likes musicians. She like pretty much
I'm not a musician.
But like every guy she's been with is like tall, scrawny, cheats. Like that's
Tell her I don't have kids. I can cheat if she wants, and I won't even whoop her
I
ass. Like,
don't think she wants that. It's just like she picks these behaviors and
okay,
she
so
like
then I'll act like a guy
learn.
that cheats, but I won't cheat. And then I won't punch her. So like that's what else could you ask for? But I have to live on her couch. That's the thing. I'm gonna live on her couch for free. I might get a job just because I'll get bored, but it's gonna be like I'm gonna work part-time at like a clothing store and hit on the girls that come in. That's that's
Yeah, it's
that's all I can offer.
yeah, well that's better than what she's got going on now. Cuz now she's cuz then like cuz I've seen this whole relationship go down over the years where it was like they got together and literally the day they got together, he found out that his ex was pregnant and she wanted to keep the child. So it would be like a second baby mama. He already had one, so this is a second. And then she was like, "No, I really like him. I'm going to stick with him." And so she stuck it out for all that drama. And then then there was her as the girlfriend and two baby mamas. And then like it just got wild where they were trying to figure out like, well, maybe they could have like a big 3 or 4-way relationship with one another and the kids. And she was just like, I love him. I love him. Like, I will do this. And we were like, what the fuck? Why would you want to do that? Um, Drama. No, thank you.
Drama's fun. I definitely miss a certain amount of it. I would not miss like going to Vegas and getting pissed drunk. Like girls that are doing that shit. Once in a
Yeah.
while, I guess, sure. But dude, I was just thinking about the other day when you sent me that video that I reposted of the guy, the drive home after cheating on
Yeah.
the girl. I was watching that and I was like, I think I miss cheating on girlfriends. But then I was like, no, I don't miss cheating on girlfriends. I just miss like having shit to do, as pathetic as that sounds. Just like, oh,
Okay.
I've got a pressing issue to handle in my social life. Dude, I haven't had a
A
pressing issue.
pressing issue.
Yeah, I've not had a pressing issue in my social life for well over 10 years at this point. Everything has been pretty non-existent. Forget the chick, the ex-boyfriend sounds awesome. This guy parties.
Oh, the guy with the two baby mamas.
It's probably like Hunter Biden.
I don't like him because he's like very abusive to like all of the women in his life.
How
He
old is
has
he?
He's our age. He's actually Nick's coworker, so they're all electricians.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
he like so what happened was is like
Does Nick like him?
they have a like they're friends, but like it's been tough because um he he what happened was is he was like so violently insane and crazy and like after like he has multiple restraining orders because he has restraining orders not only from the baby mamas but other girlfriends. That's how he
Yeah.
has like 5 restraining orders. So the what happened was is after my friend filed a restraining order, the state of California caught on, like they caught on what was happening, so they decided to go after him. So now there's like another lawsuit happening where it's like him versus the state of California.
Dude, how much ass do you have to whoop to get California coming
So
after
yeah,
you?
it was like wild. So and he was doing a lot of drugs, and what would happen was his like he would do drugs and go on these like violent like rages, and then he would just like always talking about like killing himself and whatnot. So then the state of California basically like what is it called? It's like a 5150. They basically like forced him to get
72
help.
hours in the loony bin.
Yeah. So now for like the past 6 months or so, he's been on medication and he's like completely changed. And the tables have turned where like he's normal now. Like he's very calm and quiet. And then she's like just chaotic. It's interesting to see. But yeah, no, he was like just violent, very violent with women, and so the state was like, we're gonna come after you.
Damn, that's
And
crazy. You got the whole
so
state.
yeah, so but from what I know now, it's like the two baby mamas basically like live on a farm together somewhere. Like they moved out of LA. They live in like other farm or like woodland up in the mountains. And then they like raise the two kids together there and they're like fine.
Are they
Just
lesbians?
no, they just are like fine being
They're
together.
they're just like we both got beat up by the same dude. Let's become
Pretty
friends.
much. Yeah, no, that's
Huh.
literally
That's real sisterhood. That's shit only girls would do. Like, yeah, the same guy beat us both up, so now we're friends.
yeah, no, that's what happened. And so they live together.
Their ex
They're
guy's
okay.
I kept thinking, I'm literally imagining Hunter Biden in my head is what I'm picturing.
It's totally nuts. But
Unleash the beast.
but now what's happening is like because the state is coming after him, like he owes child support. And I don't like the amount that they're asking is like way more than he actually makes. So he's kind of like fully prepared to just go to jail now.
Cerebral assassin. So he's just gonna go. So is she gonna stay with him when he's in jail? She's probably gonna
I
like
don't know.
that.
We're gonna see. We're definitely gonna see.
She's
But
probably gonna like that.
I don't know. I don't know what she's
Tell
doing.
her. I will even accept if she lets me come live on the couch and like have sex with her. I will accept her going to conjugal visits to see this guy in jail.
But you know what's like crazy is like she had told me this a long time ago. And then I told Nick because I was like, this could very well happen. And it actually did end up happening because they broke up when he was like in the asylum. Is she always told me that when a guy breaks up with her, she immediately takes revenge and fucks the best friend. That's like what she does. And I was like, damn, like you said that out loud. Like that's gnarly. And so like Nick and I were like, I wonder which friend she's gonna try and fuck. And then like when he went away, when the man went away to the asylum, she found like one of his close friends and she started a relationship with him. And then of course like he found out and it turned into like more drama, all this stuff.
Well, the best part is I really don't have any friends. So
she can't go fuck your best friend.
yeah, what's she gonna do then?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess she could try and like hook up with Trey, you know.
Yeah, she could yeah, Trey, she could go after you. I could get you hooked up by way of
but she would try to do it in a way to like make you mad, but I know you don't get mad. So
not anymore. If I was 19 and a girl went after one of my best friends, it'd be bad. But now obviously it would depend. If it was like a girl that I actually liked and she went after my friend, I'd be upset. But if it was this girl who I just want for a free couch to sleep on, then I'd be like, dude, please fuck my friends. Like they need something. Dude, I want all my friends. I want all the homies eating tonight, is what I would say.
yes, it is definitely like super villain energy. It is wild to watch.
Yeah, how old is she?
She's our age.
You should show her this episode.
So
I'm totally kidding.
Who knows?
Yeah, I only rage at video games these days. There has been a couple of times when I've tried to stream myself playing just fucking Yu-Gi-Oh, which is just a card game. And luckily no one's really come to those streams, but it's just like I'll lose a duel and I'm like raging. I'm like, dude, you need to not stream yourself playing games because games, I seriously have like a rage quitting problem with video games. Like I'll start talking about how like God doesn't love me because I'm not winning at this game. But and I've always been like that. Ever since I was a kid, I've rage quit video games. I used to rage quit everything. You know, nowadays I say I wouldn't get mad about certain things, but then also, like I said, I've never really been put to any test for like fucking at least 5 years. So for all I know, I could meet some new girl tomorrow. And then just because I haven't been in a serious relationship for at least 5 years, I could just fucking like, you know, I could just start raging out on this girl. And as of right now, I've just been so chilled for 5 years because I've just been essentially hibernating.
Yeah, she could wake you up.
Yeah, so maybe that's what would happen.
Screaming. Oh man. So then also like when we were in Vegas, my cousin came with his girlfriend and they were staying at Resort World. And so there was a whole thing where he walked into his suite and he opened up the closet, and there was blood all over the robes. And so he called the front desk because he wanted new robes. And so he calls them, he's telling them what's going on, and they wouldn't give him new robes. They were like, okay, we're going to send the police up to your room, because they were convinced that maybe he had beat up his girlfriend, and that, and that they were trying to stage something. It was crazy. They did literally everything but give him free robes or new robes.
So he never got the robes, but he got the cops.
Yeah, he got the cops. They interrogated him. He was just like, I walked into my room and there was blood all over the robes, which is a biohazard. And they were like, well, how do we know it's from someone else? And they just wouldn't acknowledge it, which I think is crazy, because you'd think like a hotel would like be like, oh, I'm so sorry. But I guess they have like a protocol they have to go through. But I also think like, because Resort World, it's a newer hotel.
What is Resort World?
So it's like a newer hotel. It's like right next to Circus and Trump International, and it's like a party resort. Like a lot of the younger kids go there. So I'm wondering like if they reacted like that because maybe there's a lot of kids that go there that get into fights. Because I think it was interesting because he spent he spent 5 hours on the phone with them, just trying for them to like acknowledge what had happened, and then they were just like, no, fuck you. And so I don't know, I'll have to find out what happened, but he said don't stay at Resort World. Not that I do that.
Yeah, I'd be pissed about blood on anything.
Yeah, that would be like super weird. I always stay at the Venetian. That's my jam.
I've only been to Vegas once, and my friend lives in like a town right next to it, so we crashed at his place. But
this is good.
Yeah, Vegas is fun. Vegas is fun if you have money. Luckily, when I went, I had some money. I wasted a lot of money, but that's kind of what Vegas is for.
Oh yeah, no, we save and then we go like once every couple months. Like we're big gamblers. So.
That's where we got into. I just talked about this, I think, with Trey on the stream. We were in some club. I think we were in the Hakasu. And just some promoter from MGM rolled up and was like, "Oh, do you guys want? I'm a promoter. I'll take you guys over to the MGM. My club's way cooler."
Mm-hmm.
And my buddy was like, "Yeah." And I remember being like, "Dude, I watch horror movies. Like, this is kind of weird." And my friend was like, "Dude, there's 3 of us. There's one of him. Like, it's all because we had to go get in this guy's car. He was going to drive us to the MGM."
Right.
Sure enough, we walk out there. He's got a really nice fucking car. We get in his car. I was already so drunk that I was in the back seat of this guy's car going, "Dude, the MGM, that's who made the fucking Wizard of Oz, dude. This shit's cool." And then, we found out that's where Lil Jon DJs. He has a residency at the MGM and the club in there. I know there's a name for the club that's in there, I think, but
yeah.
But yeah, and that was the last time I really drank way too much. But you're in Vegas watching Lil Jon DJ a set, of course you're gonna drink too much.
Yeah, I'm sure that's quite fun.
So, and then the next day we had to go to the Hakkasan. I'm so wrong. So the Hakkasan nightclub is what's inside of the MGM Grand. So I don't remember where we were at before, but we were at some kind of lame nightclub. And then the promoter came to us and said, "Do you want to go to the Hakkasan? It's inside the MGM Grand building." And apparently the Hakkasan is pretty exclusive. Apparently it was like super lucky that this guy just walked in. I think he was also a cocaine dealer. I've been trying to convince my buddies, the group of friends that I go out with once in a while, we go drinking. I've been trying to convince them that we should do cocaine at some point, like some night when we either go to a bar in Sacramento or go to Vegas. They keep trying to say no. I don't think any of them would do it. I think I'd be the one, but I'm more so trying to convince them to let me do it. One of my friends is like, "No, because you're a fucking junkie." But I'm like, well, that's the thing. I am a one-trick pony. If I start saying let's do fentanyl, then yes, you should be worried. But if it's cocaine, because I've only ever done coke twice, and every time I did it, it was just like in my friend's dark bedroom. So there was not, that's not fun. Like I
Yeah.
want to do it in a proper setting. Like, oh, now we're at a fucking club or a bar or something. I've always wanted to try it in a proper, like maybe I would enjoy it a little bit more if I was like drinking and there's like girls around. Whereas when I'm just in my friend's bedroom where we're like smoking cigarettes, watching Criminal Minds on TV, like that's so I've only had like two kind of terrible experiences with cocaine. But anyways,
Yeah, I'm not a fan anymore.
Trey's going to Vegas in March. Yeah, I don't know the next time I'm supposed to
Fun.
go. One of my friends just went. He went to visit our friend that lives there. But I had work, so I wasn't able to go. They tried to get me to go for, like, a long time too, but I told them I couldn't get the days off.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, Vegas is weird. I feel like it's the one place you can wear, like, anything. That's where I wear the Cali Rosa shirt. It's the only place I've ever worn the Cali Rosa shirt.
I love Vegas in the summertime. Like I don't like the heat, but I just love the people watching. I love seeing all the immensely obese Southerners that come as tourists and they walk around carrying the 6-foot daiquiris, wearing absolutely nothing. It makes you feel so good about yourself.
Yeah, those tall, skinny daiquiris are, like, the worst thing that humans have ever invented.
It's like so wild. I love seeing them too when they're like dragging them on the floor behind them because they're so tall. That's like real America right there. Like it's just disgusting. And then you're like, I'm actually not that bad. I love it.
I don't think there's much that can make me think that I'm like, I used to be like that when I was younger. I used to date a girl, and we used to, like, call each other whenever, like, we were, like, separate and we'd see fat people, we would call each other and sit there and make fat jokes to each other. Like, that's how bad I was as far as, like, other people make me feel better about myself. Nowadays, no, there's not much that could do that. But yeah, no, I used to be so I would've loved that when I was younger. I would've loved going to Vegas and watching people, fat people, and I'd call this girlfriend and be like, "Yeah, check out this motherfucker I'm looking at right now."
Yeah,
Fucking
I
step
didn't
out.
say that I like the weather. I don't like the weather. I just like the crowds in the summertime because I love looking at all the weirdos that come out. That's what I like about it. But yeah, no, like walking in the extreme heat definitely sucks.
Uh, who are who are you go? Yeah, obviously you don't have to say names here. If there are any names, I'd be curious to know who you're going with from Dixon because that sounds like a good time. Did like a Dixon takeover of Vegas? That would be that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, you should go.
Uh, the only time, like I said, the only time I ever go is with one of the certain group of friends. I mean, nowadays I only have one group. There's only one group that I belong to, but one of them lives right next to Vegas. That's the only people I have really gone to. I mean, that's the only time I've ever gone. The one time. That's the first time I ever flew. Even I flew on a Spirit Airlines plane, and it was fucking miserable.
Yeah.
It was only 30 minutes, but it was terrible. I think it's like no, it was like an hour. I think it's like an hour flight. It's just claustrophobic. I'd rather drive, but I know those friends would also never drive. They'd always want to fly. But I don't know, Vegas. I feel like it's
But
it probably just depends. Probably just depends on when you go. I would every time I go to Vegas, I plan on gambling. I'm not like a gambler. It's not like I'm like, "Oh, I gotta go fucking gamble," but just when I'm there, it's like, "Well, this is, like, what you're supposed to do." Like, I'm gonna put $20 I am that person, like, my buddy was, like, putting quarters in machines,
oh, that's cringe.
I was, like, putting $20 bills in machines, and he's like, "Dude, you gotta fucking stop," and so I
Really? No, we do like hundreds. Like, because we come with like a couple grand. We're
see that
like,
yeah,
really?
that's what I'd be and that comes from my, that's not because I want to gamble or because I like to. That comes from my lack of care of money. Like I just don't care about money, which is unfortunate because now I'm paying consequences for that. But I've just never cared about fucking money. It sucks that I have to because I'm an adult, but that's
14
why.
hours. This is a 14-hour drive. Oh, from LA, it's like 3.5 hours.
Yeah, California, the size of California is crazy. Like, I can drive up to, Oregon before I can reach LA. I can reach a whole other state before I even reach fucking LA.
Yeah, that is
Yeah. Yeah,
crazy.
me and my ex-girlfriend used to drive up to Ashland, Oregon. That's a 4-hour drive. We used to go there, like, on a Friday. We would just go and then, like, drive back down in the same day.
Okay, so next weekend I'm going to that event again called the Hollywood Show, where they have a bunch of celebrities you could just meet. So Michelle Phillips is going to be there, and
You should ask Michelle Phillips. We're talking Michelle Phillips, Mamas and Papas, right?
yeah.
You should harass her and ask her what she really knows about Charles Manson, because I know what she really knows about Charles Manson.
Well, last time I went, her daughter was there. Was it Mackenzie Phillips? And so there's actually quite a big lineup. Malcolm McDowell is going to be there. I want to meet him,
Yeah, that's awesome.
definitely. And then Cherie Curry from the Runaways is going to be there.
I don't give a fuck.
Definitely. Oh, well, I like her. Yeah, I'm going to have her sign one of my prints. There's like a bunch of people. I'd have to look. There's more like people from Twin Peaks, which I'm
Malcolm McDowell, everyone would want to meet him for Clockwork Orange. I'd want to meet him for the Rob Zombie Halloween movies is the thing.
Yeah, I'm might get his autograph depending on the line and how much it is.
Oh, you know it's gonna be a long line. I doubt he's that expensive because he's old now. He's not like in demand, I don't think, but it'd be a long line. I would love to meet Michelle Phillips just because she would have security throw me out. Like I would walk up there and be like, I'd bring the book. I'd be like, yeah, so this book says you were fucking doing drugs and having orgies at Elvis Presley's house with Charles Manson, and like she'd have to be thrown out.
Elvis's girlfriends are going to be there, and Anne Margaret too is going to be there.
Protomax is also going to be there. Please wait in line for my autograph. Oh, who else did you say? I was reading his comments.
Anne Margaret, she was in some of Elvis's films. Let's see. Oh, Jeffrey Jones, the principal from not Beetlejuice. Well, he was in Beetlejuice, but from Ferris Bueller, he was the principal. He was the dad in Beetlejuice. He's going to be there. Which I heard that he wasn't in the second Beetlejuice because he was like casted out of Hollywood for touching kids or something like that. Do you know that story?
I've never even seen Beetlejuice. I no.
Well, have you seen Ferris Bueller?
Yeah, but it's been years.
Okay, so he played the principal in there, Edward Rooney. There's like hundreds of people that are going to be there. There's a lot of people from Blade Runner that are going to be there too. I don't know. Dude, oh, and then did you ever see Boogie Nights?
No, we've talked about that on stream before though.
Oh, you got to see that. Okay.
Isn't that based on?
It's based off of the San Fernando Valley in the 70s, based off of a porn star.
John Holmes.
Yes.
Yeah, the Wonderland Murders.
You have to watch that movie. It's so good.
Dude, Michelle Phillips was so hot in the 60s. She was really hot. Like, I totally get dudes that were, like, getting big in her. Oh my God.
Well, yeah, I'm going to see her, so.
Some of these 60s and 70s girls are, like, way hotter than girls we have today. It's ridiculous. There was somebody, of course, I'm in one of those Facebook groups that's, like, centered around not only just Manson, but, like, 60s culture in general. And we were talking about Sharon Tate. And there's a lot of older guys in that group, and they were saying the reason for a lot of the looks of the girls from the 60s and 70s was that he was like, I'm not saying they were fat at all, but they were a little bit more natural and marshmallowy is how he worded it, because like working out wasn't such an obsessive thing like it is now. Like everybody's getting fucking BBLs and like working out and starving themselves and taking Ozempic. And he's like, you look at Sharon Tate, she just looks like a normal fucking human. She just happens to be really pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen Beetlejuice. I've never cared to. I probably will. I own Beetlejuice on DVD. An old drug dealer stole it from Walmart for me as a present. I'll never watch it. I just don't care.
Okay.
But,
It's still a good movie.
yeah, I liked that theory. I thought, "Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense." People today are obsessed with having, like, tight abs and shit, and, like, nowadays the look is, like, tight abs, kind of no tits, and a huge ass. That seems to be, like, the LA white girl look,
Yeah.
wear, like, exercise shorts or workout shorts or whatever.
You know what? The other day I went somewhere and I saw like a couple walking around in athletic wear and I just thought, I'm so fucking tired of seeing that.
People
I'm
in athletic wear.
so I'm so tired of seeing people wearing gym clothes and making that their fucking personality. It's lame as fuck. It's
Yeah.
so lame. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
the gym
But
clothes, I'm not talking shit about dudes who golf because I'm pretty sure Protomax golfs, but I don't like the guys that make golf. Like, they turn 30 and all of a sudden golf is, like, all they have to offer to the world. It's like, dude, you don't have to golf just because you turned 30. Protomax, I would at least hand you some credit because 'cause you're not 30. I would imagine you just actually like doing it. You didn't turn 30 and we're like, "Well, this is what I can't stand the dudes that are like, "Well, this is what I do now," which is kind of the path I was when I was, like, 25, I was always like, "Dude, I'm gonna turn 30 and cut my hair." I still wanna cut my hair up, but I've been talking about that for, like, a year. I swear one day that is one thing, if you ever do hook me up with this friend that I'm gonna live on her couch, tell her I'm not gonna have long hair forever. I'm gonna cut the shit off at some point, but I look alright with short hair too, depending on, uh, factors, I guess. Abs on women is very strange too, I'm not sure why women think that looks good. Yeah, I like, deathly skinny girls, so if they have no gut, that's obviously great, but, I don't require a fucking six-pack. I don't want a girl with better abs than me, that's for sure. Like, that's, I don't need to be completely, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't need to have my manhood, like, threatened by my girlfriend because she has better abs than me. But yeah, the dudes that they turn 30 and all of a sudden all their clothes are from Izod. That's all, they wear those short shorts. One of my buddies wears short shorts, and I honestly I can't stand it. I'm like, "Dude, just buy a pair of fucking Dickies, dude." Don't wear shorts that are, like, to the middle of your thighs. Stop that. I don't care what it is. I don't care if I look like a 2004, at least my shorts are not mid-thigh and they're, like, as tight as my boxer briefs. Like, just stop all that. Yeah.
I I saw this reel last night and this girl was explaining how when she goes out in public, if she's not wearing any makeup and she hasn't really done her hair, she like guys tend to go after her quite a bit and harass her, but then when she goes out and she has like a full face of makeup and she's done her hair, like guys are afraid to talk to her. Why do you think that is?
They're probably red pill dudes.
What does that mean?
Red pill dudes are like on this crusade against girls wearing makeup because they claim it makes sense. They say it's like catfishing. Um, I would say
Yeah.
I would say it depends on the amount of makeup. So again, I have to reference Calamity Jane, but that's part of my character at this point. I didn't realize how lucky I was when I was with her. Obviously, unlucky now that I'm not with her, but I never realized she really never wore makeup like the whole time we were together. And, of course, everyone's gonna say I'm biased, but I swear to God, like, with or without makeup, like, just fucking prettiest girl you'd ever see. Probably the prettiest girl I'll ever get with, for sure, without makeup, like, just did not need makeup. And then, after her, the next again, I never really thought about, like, girls wearing makeup, just, "Oh, my girlfriend really doesn't wear makeup, she doesn't need to." One of those things, you don't think about as a guy, and then you especially don't think about it because your girlfriend just doesn't fucking wear makeup half the time. But, the next girl I ever hooked up with wore a lot of makeup, and again, I kinda just never really thought about it, and I remember one day we were texting, and she said something about she was doing something, and she's like, "I would send you a picture, but I don't have my makeup on yet." I was like, I don't give a fuck, just send me the picture." And she was like, "No, I don't have my eyebrows drawn on yet." And I was like, "That you sound like a chola, what are you talking about?" And she's like, "That's, like, my biggest insecurity." She's like, "I don't have eyebrows." And, like I was talking about earlier, how I'm very unobservant. There are girls I'll date for 6 months, can't tell you what color their eyes are.
Mhm.
So I go to her Instagram and I look and I'm like, holy fuck, she really doesn't have eyebrows. Like she just naturally didn't have eyebrows. They were just drawn on.
That's wild.
So then I looked close and I was like, yeah, and she's wearing a lot of fucking makeup. And then so that was a harsh realization that I was like, oh, some girls are out here legitimately transforming their faces with makeup.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's like one of those red pill arguments. Guys will say, because girls will say it's fucked up when a guy goes on Tinder and uses pictures of him from 5 years ago that are more attractive. But then those red pill guys will fire back with, well, you've got makeup on in all your pictures. That's your catfishing. I want to know what you actually look like, not what you look like after you've been getting ready for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So that's what I would think. Maybe she's just around red pill dudes and they see makeup and they're like, no, I don't know. I can't think of any other explanation because I don't see guys
Mhm.
being like, unless she's like extremely hideous, like without
I
makeup,
don't know.
and then she puts it on and she's gorgeous and intimidating. Yeah, I don't know. But I think of makeup as kind of like, I don't want to sound like I'm simping, but in some cases, makeup's kind of like an artsy fartsy. Like when I was putting on makeup, I was drunk smearing eyeshadow all over my fucking face. I pulled it off really fucking well. I'll give myself that credit. But yeah, some girls are like, I'm like, dude, what the fuck is this? What's that? Like, when Calamity Jane would wear makeup, I was hanging around it looking and be like, dude, I don't even know what the fuck that is or what are you spraying now? And so it's cool in some cases. It's cool in some cases a little bit, a little bit's fine. But yeah, there is an argument to be made about girls that are wearing like when you can see the fucking cake on the face, it's like, okay, dude, like
Yeah.
and when all your pictures on Tinder are the cake face with a filter, it's like, okay, bro, like maybe you are getting a little carried away here. Like, let's, what do you
Yeah.
really look like?
Yeah. No, I get it. No, I'm not a fan of the full face at all. I
It's
don't I don't really care. It's like this is what I look like, so whatever.
Yeah, it's like eventually, you can't. People are like a dude that you're gonna get in a serious relationship with is gonna see you without makeup at some point, and I'd rather him not be shocked when he sees my face without the makeup. Like,
Plus, I don't like the physical feeling of like having all that shit on my
yeah,
face.
isn't that uncomfortable?
Like
That's what I always think.
I used to do that kind of stuff when I was younger, like late teens, early 20s, but it's like first of all, it's extraordinarily expensive for all that makeup. And I'd rather now that I'm in my 30s, I'd rather spend that same money on like improving my skin and just having nice skin
Yeah,
than just like covering it up with crap. You know what I mean? Because it's gonna come off at the end of the day.
yeah,
And then if you kiss a guy, it's just gonna smear his face with all that crap.
yeah,
So, like, that's not nice. Yeah.
yeah. No,
Uh,
yeah, girls, if
but
you're gonna do makeup, you should
like
make it light.
that argument is so hard to have with other women because, a lot of women are like, well, to each their own, some women like makeup and it's like, yeah, I got that. It's just personally, nah.
Yeah, we live in this era of everybody gets their own truth and reality, and it's kind of fucking weird.
Yeah, and then it's like if I speak about like, oh, I think it's better to just like improve your skin than wear like a full face of makeup. It's like that could start like a huge argument, which
Yeah.
I've seen with other people. So it's like, what's the point of even talking?
Yeah, no, they should chill out on it. But if
No.
they do it light, it's totally cool. That's one of my simp takes. My biggest simp take, and I don't even necessarily think it's a simp take. I think like period products, I think those should be free.
Oh, hell yeah, that would be
I don't
nice.
think girls have to pay for tampons. To me, that seems like bullshit. Like I don't think anybody asks to have a period.
Yeah.
To me, that seems like one of the biggest ripoffs as far as being born a girl. Of course, these things balance out. You can make $43 million by just taking naked pictures of yourself in your bedroom. But if you don't want to do that, it's not fair that you have to pay hella money for tampons and shit every month.
Yeah.
I don't know. One of my biggest, I don't believe in like fucking this privilege and that privilege. And I think there's pros and cons to every side, just like there is with everything else in the world. It's that simple. But I always joke if there is one form of male privilege, my story is that, yeah, the way I never thought about girls wearing makeup, I never really thought about miscarriages because I'm a dude, so I'm never gonna have a miscarriage. It's just never been in my head. I have a friend who, she had a miscarriage pretty late into her pregnancy. This is, like, within the last, few years. Like, super late, like, she was about to have the fucking baby, and then, she lost it.
Hmm.
And so she invited me to the funeral. I was like, "Yeah, of course, I'll go to the fucking funeral." So, in my mind, what?
She had a funeral?
We'll get there. So, yeah, so again, I'm just like, in my mind. So what I'm getting at is I never really had to think about this. So I didn't never knew what happened to the baby when a miscarriage happened. So just I guess my best explanation is that in my mind it just disappeared. The baby just vanished.
Yeah.
So I think I'm showing up to like a metaphorical funeral. Like, like here we're gonna lay the spirit to rest or whatever.
Yeah.
So I go to her funeral, we're all crying. I start crying with them. This is I've been friends with this family since like 8th grade.
Yeah.
Dude, we sit down, the ceremony starts. These fucking 2 guys walk out here with a shoebox-sized coffin. And I'm like, "Hold up." I was sitting next to her brother. I was like, "What the fuck is that?" And he's like, "Yeah, no, I didn't know they made coffins that small either." And I'm like,
They
"No,
do,
what's
yeah.
in that? Like, that's the spirit of the baby. Like, that's what the fuck is in that?" Yeah, the fucking baby was in there. And I was like, "Dude, what?" No, fuck. I was like, I had a terrible day. I just never, because I'm not gonna have a miscarriage. I don't give a fuck. I don't think about that shit. I thought, poof, like, oh, miscarriage, baby's gone. It's just vanished. Right? Like if they throw it away, like I don't know. I never. So that's my one example of male privilege is that I never had to think about a fucking
Fucking
miscarriage.
funny.
I
Yeah,
have no idea.
Many years ago, I must have been like 21 or so. So I have a cousin that is in South Africa. And so I was probably like 21 and she must have been like 20. And she was seeing a guy and she got pregnant. And I was kind of like, you're gonna keep the kid, like you're 20, like I guess because like I don't like kids at all, so
Yeah,
I was kind of,
you hate kids. I
I'm
would
like
keep the kid.
so anti-child, so I was just kind of like, but you're 20, you have like your entire life, like why would you want to have a kid now? So like I had said that to some of my relatives because I was just like, we were just talking about it, and then of course like they fucking told my cousin when I thought like we were having this personal conversation. And then yeah, like it got like this has started beef like since this day. So so then what happened was is like they went and told my cousin. They were like, Annie said this. And mind you, it was like one of my aunts. So I was just like, why is a 50-something-year-old woman doing that? Like she shouldn't be doing that. That's fucking rude. So what happened was is one day I was talking to my cousin and then she was just like, well, why do you care? You said this. And I was like, hold on. There's only one person that would have told you that I said that. So then I went to my aunt and I was just like, why did you tell her that I said that? And then she looked me straight in the eye and was like, I didn't tell her. And I was like, you're the only person I said that to. You had to tell her. She was like, no, like you must have forgotten. Like she was just like, it was insane.
That's my
I
message.
was like, oh my God, my family's crazy. So then it like permanently caused like beef like within that side of the family. They were just like, Annie said this, that's fucked up, whatever. And I'm like, wow, okay, like fuck you guys. So then what happens is my cousin goes through and has the baby, and it turns out to be a fucking stillbirth, and the kid dies. And I'm like, and then they're like,
That's terrible. You cursed the kid.
And I was just like, she was young, like I still to this day, I hold true to what I said. I thought she was too young. She had her whole life ahead of her. I'm like, you're 20 years old. What the fuck? I can express that opinion, whatever. But she went ahead and had the kid, and the kid fucking died. And so on top of that, it was like this. It was this totally traumatic experience. Like,
Oh yeah, you got to push out a dead baby.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
but what was the craziest part is she posted pictures
Stop.
on Instagram.
Stop. Send me those pictures right now. Send me
I don't know
those.
where they are. She just like, and it was like so out of the blue. It's like I log on to Instagram and there's like dead baby in front of me.
I want those.
Is like,
I want
this
those
is like
pictures.
this is like before like Instagram was like monitoring, because it was
Yeah.
like, 10 years ago. So I'm like, oh my
Wait,
God.
wait,
And
wait. Was there a filter on the picture of the
no,
dead baby?
no, it was just like this, literally like this lifeless stillborn,
Yeah,
just like laying on a hospital bed. And
I would imagine.
there's like multiple pictures, and she's like writing a whole caption of like, today we lost our son, blah blah blah. And I'm like, why would you post that? So then of course I go to my family and I'm like, why the fuck is she posting that? And they all look and they're like, we don't want to see that. Like,
Yeah, that's rough.
but anyways, like a couple years later, like she did end up marrying the guy, and now they do have like a healthy son who's like 5 or 6 years old. So it did end up working out for her. But like, yeah, still to this day, like she doesn't talk to me. She was just like, you said this, and then I had a stillborn. I'm like, listen, I didn't cause that. I just said that you were a little young. So
Yeah, you're a little harsh
but
on, like I wish I had kids by now. I'm probably
I
never gonna have
just
kids now because I'm fucking 31, and it's not like I'm attracting any 21-year-old girls. Uh, yeah, I always wanted kids. I always wanted to have kids and get married, like, in my 20s. I'm
wait,
I've
go ahead.
I've still pretty much decided that I think I'm probably just gonna end up waiting around until I die and, like, seeing what's in the next life. I don't know. I don't wanna get with a girl who's, like, in her 30s. I think that sounds terrible to it's like, imagine meeting a girl, like, imagine being alive for, like, over 30 years and then, like, meeting someone. That's just, like, a long time that I haven't known you, and now all of a sudden, we're gonna, like, act like, "Oh, yeah, now we got a lot of catching up to." I don't know, like, to me, the whole point of getting with someone is to, like, grow up with the person.
Yeah, no,
By the time
that's
you're in your
actually
30s,
really
you're
funny.
pretty set in your routines.
But did you see this? It's like got that hood deep filter on.
Yeah. Dude,
No,
well,
this was like early
yeah,
Instagram.
I was thinking about, like, the toaster filter, and, the filters, what were they called? All I remember is the toaster one.
No, I remember like those early filters where it would just be like a border with like
That's
a
like what I
grainy
posted earlier
filter.
today. When I posted that picture from 13 years ago, that was one of those early Instagram pictures.
Yeah, no, it was like that, but no, she just like posted like, and it was just like, it was when Instagram, like there wasn't really an algorithm, so it was like when it was posted, it would just, go down the line.
Yeah,
So
just
it's
who you
like,
followed.
yeah, so it's like just wake up in the morning, go on Instagram, dead baby, and I was like, oh God, don't need to see that. And then of course, like everybody's like, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. But I was like, but so anyways, I think they did have like a funeral and they buried the child, which adds to your stories. There are small coffins.
Yeah, dude, I remember seeing it and was just like, dude, like, I thought this was like a metaphorical funeral. Like, I
No,
thought we were laying the spirit to rest. I didn't think
no,
we
but I
were.
mean, like in ancient Egypt, they were always doing that for the stillborns. They always find, sarcophagi of like little babies.
Yeah.
It's nuts. But yeah, no, I told my cousin like she was too fucking young. And so maybe the universe was like, she's right. Like, we're gonna kill your child.
No, I don't think 20 is too young to have kids. I
I
think
just
girls do this funny thing. I'm really gonna make myself sound like a red pill dude, but girls do this funny shit where oh, women are so powerful and strong and women can do anything. But then, oh, as soon as you have a baby, life is over and you can't handle shit. And I thought you were fucking badass. I thought you were so strong. You can't have a baby and get a job. You can't have a baby and go to school. What happened to all this fucking women can do anything? And then
yeah.
as soon as they have a baby, it's the same thing with men. They call it Schrodinger's feminist. Women are powerful and almighty and strong and they don't need no man. But then as soon as a man enters the room, he's manipulating this bitch all over the place and he's taking advantage of her and coercing her. Like, what happened to all this power? What happened to all this feminist strength? Like, I thought you could do anything. I thought you could overpower men. Like, what are we talking about here?
Yeah.
So I don't really believe in like too young. Yeah, I'm sure it's a bitch. I think my mom had me when she was like 18 and she worked fucking overnights at Walmart. And I'm pretty sure her life was fucking miserable for a while. But, and not that my mom's like a fucking rock star today, but she turned out fine. Well, my mom turned out as fine as
Yeah.
like the female version of myself turned out. But yeah, I don't know. It's just But I know me and you are different. Like I always wanted kids. It's funny because I hate kids, but like kids in my like I liked my siblings. I like like. But if it's like a kid in the grocery store, if that kid's crying, I want to fucking kick that child. I don't want to get your fucking
Yeah.
ugly ass retarded fucking kid away from me. I want nothing to do with it. If
Yeah.
I went over to my buddy's house and his kids came out and said, "Yeah, of course, yeah, it's my buddy. I like your kids." Yeah, they can cry all they want. I'll be cool to them. But some stranger at the grocery store, no, fuck that kid. I hope it dies. I don't. I want nothing to do with it. But my own kids, my family's kids, and my friends' kids, totally cool. And I always wanted kids. I always wanted a son that I could like talk to about girls and shit. Like I always wanted a son that would come home from school and be like, "Dad, Jennifer broke up with me," and then I'd be like, "Yeah, this is my fucking moment. I'm gonna tell my son about what to do when Jennifer breaks up with him. Like, let's sit down. I'll tell you about this girl I dated in high school. If I had a son and he turned out to be gay, I'd still love him, but I wouldn't I wouldn't have as much advice for him. I'd be like, well, I don't know what to do when Johnny breaks up with you, my son. But yeah, fucking hey, man. I'm probably not gonna get to have kids. And if I do, I'll be like 42 and I'll knock up like a 23-year-old, which will suck. That'd be like the worst part.
Yeah.
And I've already said I know I'm old because even when I was like 28 and I was hooking up with this girl that was 22, and I used to go over and she was like I talked about this. She was a total bitch to her mom, and I was always taking her mom's side. And I'm like, oh, this means I'm old. Like my girlfriend's being disrespectful to her mom, and
Yeah.
I'm taking her mom's side. Oh man, yeah, this shit sucks.
All right. Well, I'm probably gonna go because it's 8 o'clock, and I need to do some writing.
Yeah, I gotta go. I think I'm gonna run. I didn't do anywhere near as much work on this video as I was supposed to do. I always do this. I put it off, and then tomorrow's my last day until my work week starts on Saturday. So I'll like scramble and do like 4 hours of work on it tomorrow before I have work on Saturday. But yeah, I'll probably watch something from the 80s. I'll run. I don't know. But yeah, we're like 2 hours anyway, so yeah, we're good.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you later.
Right on. I'm gonna hit the outro.
Okay.
And we're all here today to groove and have a beautiful time together, and that it's only the beginning. Sometimes I think I'm drunk and then I realize I am drunk. Sometimes I think I'm drunk and then I realize